Warning! This podcast may contain bad language and content that some listeners may find offensive.
I think especially with this episode, if we go forward with the theme that we're thinking.
Oh, we're going forward. And just to preface this episode, this was a tea idea.
Oh, God.
Welcome to Seesaw Podcast with T and Cleaves.
Each week, offering up a blurry perspective on life. Welcome to Seesaw, episode 74. How's things, Cleaves?
If I'm honest, I'm a little tired. I need to get my buzz back. I went to Blondie last night.
How was that?
There's a few things I need to unpack from that.
Okay.
First thing, Blondie, pretty great, actually. They're all getting on a bit now, especially Debs, affectionately. That's what I call her.
Your squeeze?
Yeah, exactly. My grandma / squeeze. But yeah, you know what? She put on a good show. There were. I'm not gonna lie. There were points where I was like, I can tell you're old. But, but like, it was just like during the encore, like there was certain parts that she wasn't singing the notes that I would assume would require quite a lot of gusto, shall we say? And I just wondered whether like she was a bit worn out. Bless.
So the Ariana Grande approach.
Sure. Yeah, but Ariana Grande's much younger.
Yeah, but she also can't sing certain notes.
Well, I mean, Debs has still got it. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, if you're playing an hour and a half of hard vocals, you know what I mean? You have to hit loads of notes and shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's probably going to take it out of you when you're like 76 or whatever, so.
At any point, did she straddle a cannon?
She's not Cher, Jesus. If she was Cher anyway, she'd be fine because she could just use one of those voice things.
Hey, they are a legitimate way of making you not sound shit.
Yeah, tell that to T-Pain.
I will tell it to T-Pain.
Go on then.
Okay, T-Pain, you're going to be atted. You did one song. Well done.
Whoa.
Done more than me.
And the second thing I need to unpack from this, right, is the flooring area in the arena was seated. So it comes in like little blocks of seating, basically.
Yeah.
And me and my friend got to the seat, and as the lights dimmed before Blondie came on, I stood up. Now, the guy next to me was like, "What are you standing up for? People can't see behind you." And I got a bit shitty, to be honest. And I was like, "Yeah, on the tickets, mate, when you book it, it says that people might stand up." It's like, "Yeah, but what about everybody else?" And I turned around and said, "Oh, yeah, well, they can stand up as well if they wish. It's absolutely fine." And I can't remember. It was a bit of a back and forth. But then I left it a little bit. And then even my friend sat down as well. So eventually I sat down, and that kind of bums me out a little bit. I got annoyed with it. And then the guy, me and him, was still like basically not shouting at each other, but it was getting a bit heated, shall we say. And then literally about 8 seconds after I'd sat down and Blondie came on, pretty much everyone within that block stood up behind me.
Did he stand up?
He stood up. I stood up, and he was like, "Oh, everyone's standing up now." And I was a bit of a, I was like, "Oh, really? I didn't realise." I was like, I was a bit of a prick about it, but it really fucked me off. And I thought it was going to spoil my night a little bit, but it didn't. Like, Blondie were pretty darn good.
Cool. I mean, I'm not surprised that you were a bit of a dick. But
It literally says when you buy the ticket that people might stand, so don't give me that shit. Just because I stood up about 10 seconds before.
The thing is, this guy was fucking next to you as well, so why is he on his fucking high horse? If you stood up in front of him, he could have tapped on you and said, "Excuse me, mate, I can't see, I'm sitting down."
Yeah.
In which case, I would have understood that conversation. But he's standing next to you.
Yeah, people behind actually weren't bothered.
Yeah, you're not blocking him. He's just being a fucking cunt. Get off your high horse, mate. Go back to the accountancy department, where you're just an administrative assistant.
Wow.
And stop wasting everyone's time.
I like to think he's probably a bit higher up than that now, because he's much older. In fact, everyone there was much older than me. We were like two millennials in a sea of boomers.
There's no excuse. Age is only a number.
You can be an arse at any age, it seems.
Well, look at, like, was it Gen Zers? Those vegan...
Oh, you're just going to go straight in on them, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking, like... No, I'm not. I'm going to stop before I say anything more horrible.
What about you? How you been anyway?
Pretty standard.
That it?
Yeah. Me and my wife shared our second anniversary. Not as in second year, but some women like to have 2 anniversaries, don't they? The anniversary of your wedding and the anniversary of meeting. And we had the anniversary of meeting this week.
What? Hang on. So have you actually meeting? Does that mean you also have one when you like first started going steady as well?
I don't know. Don't suggest that to her, because then my calendar will fill up. But yeah, 14 years.
Damn.
So yeah, that was fun. Aside from that, not much else. Just work. Work as always. Work.
All right. So have you got any quick blind news, Rihanna?
I do. And this is the quick blind news you didn't allow me to use last time to record and then just insert it here.
You already had one bit of the quick blind news. Why would you need 2?
Well, I can have as many as I want.
No, you can't. It's quick blind news. It means you only get one and it has to be quick.
Okay, cue the music. So a blind man in Bradford, out on a walk with his new puppy, had it stolen by some rogues in a car.
Okay. I was going to ask questions, but I'm not going to.
I'm deliberately choosing news which you have a lot of questions for, and then I'm just not going to answer them.
I just don't get why a blind man would have a puppy.
What, you're saying blind people aren't allowed to have other dogs other than guide dogs?
But surely if he was blind, he'd be using a cane.
Well, he had his guide dog and his friend had the puppy.
Well, that makes more sense then, doesn't it?
Yeah. The youths used a bat and hit him in the legs.
Sorry. It's just the way you said it, not what happened, alright? That making me laugh. It's the delivery, not the act.
And that's my quick blind news. How about you?
No news.
How the mighty have fallen.
I thought I'd let you have this one this week.
Well, and last week?
Yeah, well, I had one last week as well, so. And for once, your blind news actually related to someone blind, so that's good.
It did last week as well.
And it was quick. Well done.
And it was last week as well. How dare you?
2/3.
Slanderous, mate. Slanderous. Shall we get on to the topic of the week?
It kind of moves on a little bit from last week in disabled influences in a nice way. But also, when T pitched it, he basically just wanted to slander people.
I didn't want to slander people. I just thought it'd be a funny idea.
Also, we would like to point out that we're not slandering anyone here.
We are not slandering anyone. This is just for entertainment purposes. I will also say that disability is all about blah, blah, blah. We're not disabled. We're not disadvantaged. We're just different. Okay? I agree with that to an extent, but a lot of people fervently believe this. That being said, this time around, we are going to... How do we put this without me being an absolute prick?
Basically, we're each going to pick celebrities and then make them disabled and see how it would affect their lives, hypothetically.
Yes. So which celebrities would be great ambassadors for the disabled, and also how it would have affected their lives up to this point. So seeing as this is the topic I chose, I think it's only natural that I go first.
Go on then.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So, I wouldn't want to disable any of his handsome body.
Right, okay.
Or his handsome mind.
What about his handsome charisma?
No, not at all.
How is he getting disabled in this?
I would make him
with
a blinky. No.
To the legs.
Back to the leg, no. No, unless you've got a puppy. I would make him a blinky.
How blinky is he?
I would say more sight than what we have, but not enough to drive. I don't think his life would be seriously affected by this.
Oh, way to go in with some good ones then to begin with.
But I also think, as a man of influence and caring, and maybe that's just his persona, or maybe he's genuinely a nice person, I think he could do a lot for the blinky community if he were to become blinded in some capacity.
How do you think his blindness is going to affect his life?
At this point, I don't think it would affect him that much.
Then why even pick it?
Because I'm thinking about
You're off to a bad start, mate. You're off to a bad start.
I'm thinking about the good that he would do for the world.
Right, and what good is that going to be if he's slightly blind? Basically, what you're saying is, I wish The Rock had reading glasses.
No, permanent glasses.
The people's glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, he would
He does, and it'll probably take him off in the same way he takes off his sunglasses, just to deliver a sick line.
I thought we'd ease into this. This is why I went for this one. I think as an ambassador, disabled ambassador, there's no one better in the world. That's what I went for.
Wow.
Starting off...
That's strong.
Okay, we'll get on to yours in a minute, but I think...
No, you're just saying that he would be the best ambassador in the world.
Well, let's put it this way. His work ethic is incredible. Like, he's
Right.
always doing stuff.
You sure you're not thinking of his fucking jacked ass body?
Well, yeah, he's always working out. Like, there's no denying that. The man is ripped. But then
If he's in the gym though and he's partially sighted, he's not going to be doing a lot of spotting.
But that's why he would have someone with him.
Like Kevin
A
Hart.
spotter. Kevin Hart ain't lifting anything, mate. No, I think just purely on the ambassadorship side of things, to start us off with a lame one.
The Rock's not lame.
No, I'm not
The
saying
disability
he's
you
lame.
gave him was lame.
Okay.
It was like, how would it affect him? Oh, it wouldn't really. The T voice is out. Oh, it wouldn't really. Wouldn't really affect him. What I've done is, I've taken someone I really like and thought, oh, what if he needs glasses?
Yeah, basically.
He's getting on a bit. He probably does need glasses to read.
Yeah, well.
He's going to be playing like the absolutely jacked granddad in films, in Disney films, in like 10 and 20 years' time.
Yeah, and I would appreciate that. As long as he gets involved in charity work.
He probably already is.
Yeah, but I mean, that would affect me in a positive way.
People's charity.
Okay, Mr. Smart Arse.
What is this? Is this? You got nothing else to add to this? Because basically all you said is he needs glasses, and for some reason that would make him an ambassador for blind people.
Well, yeah, but the glasses, you were the one who implied that it was just reading glasses.
You said he has a very mild sight condition.
No, I never said mild. I said he's got more sight than us, but he can't drive. So that's still quite severe.
That's not. Yeah, it is, but it's not a lot more sight than us, then, is it?
Well, it depends on the sight condition, doesn't it? Oh, albinism. Can you imagine him with albinism? Well,
So
he'd
he's
be 10% less sexy, first off.
Are we just talking eyes? Or are we talking full like
Full albinism.
pigment? Yeah.
Yeah. Full pigment
Oh, man,
albinism.
he'd be like the abominable snowman.
You know, he wouldn't want to live in Hawaii at that point. He wouldn't be able to. You know what? Ghostbusters remake, he'd be able to do like the Marshmallow Man.
Wow.
He's large and he'd be really pale.
Okay, well, you should have led with that.
Okay, but I think it's
You
all
have to
the
buy a lot
journey
of
with me.
sunblock, isn't it,
Yeah.
now?
Yeah,
All of a
yeah,
sudden.
yeah.
Do you think he would be as loved if he was super white? I mean, bear in mind he still has the same charisma, but he's got, I guess, does he have like full pink eyes now as well?
Yeah. I would say more loved. Like there's albino cats people like.
I would say they're an acquired taste.
Are you saying The Rock isn't an acquired taste?
No, everyone loves The Rock.
Okay, that's fair.
He's like Rice Krispies.
I don't like Rice Krispies.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Fuck off. Yes, you do. Everyone likes it. They're the most inoffensive cereal other than cornflakes.
They're bland.
Doesn't mean you don't like them. Just sprinkle a little bit of sugar on them.
I'm indifferent to them. I don't want them.
Oh, okay. So now you've gone from I don't like them to I'm indifferent to them. Let's just talk about them a little bit more. Sprinkle a little sugar on them. All of a sudden, you probably like them. You'll be wolfing them down.
No, it's diabetes. That
You're
is.
full of shit, mate. You are full of shit. I bet you've got Rice Krispies in your cupboard right now.
No. I think I actually do.
Knew it.
But I think it's one of those shitty multi-pack things that I got.
How
once.
convenient.
So it's only like one little box. Okay. Who's your celebrity / influencer / famous person?
I am going to say Brad Pitt.
Okay, you're just going to make him slightly sight impaired.
No, his disability is he's got Benjamin Button syndrome.
Oh, I like that. I mean, that's not a real disease, but...
Sure it is.
No, it's not.
It is, mate.
No.
It's called Benjamin Button syndrome. But for the point of this conversation, we're going to call him Bradminton Button.
I mean, how would this affect him?
Well, I've never seen the film, so I like to assume that he's come out of his mother's vagina, fully grown and old.
I mean, not fully grown, but yes, the old part.
Oh no, he's come out fully grown.
Okay.
It's not a real disease. It might happen, apparently.
Okay.
Anyway, he's out. He's old. So a lot of his, his early parts, he's not going to be able to get. He's not going to be the young, sexy man in Thelma and Louise. He's probably going to start by maybe he's going to have like one of those, the two old folks go on a romp. Maybe him and old Grandad Rock, right, go on a crusade to fulfill their bucket list, basically.
Okay.
He's going to become the new Morgan Freeman,
Okay.
but obviously much more pale.
Two
So
quick points.
He's going to be red, basically. He's going to be in Shawshank.
Okay. 2 quick points. Firstly, you chose Thelma and Louise, which has 2 female leads.
But my person is Brad Pitt, and he was in it like before he got super duper famous. The start of his career. Whereas the start of his career in this point is going to be doing old roles rather than young roles.
Okay. The second point is not only have you done this to him, you're also fucking around with timelines because that means that he isn't even born yet.
What do you mean?
Because you'd have to have old Rock to match up with him. So he's not being born for another 20 years. So he's not going to be in these films.
Well, maybe those films just haven't been made yet.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify these things.
Multiverse, shut up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Explains everything, apparently. Thanks, Marvel. Yeah, so, he's red in that. And then later on, right, he is in 7, but he's the Morgan Freeman character again. Oh. And Morgan Freeman, because for some reason Morgan Freeman's younger in this case, is the what's in the box character.
I don't know if the delivery would be as good, but I can see that. What's in the box? I loved how you tried to do a Morgan Freeman.
Not good, is it? I just went for a posh person.
I know you did. You didn't even know what he sounds like.
Anyway, as Brad slowly gets younger, he then does, I don't know, he marries Angelina Jolie. He marries Angelina Jolie at this point, but then he basically gets bored of her and some shit happens in between. Then he marries Jennifer Aniston. And then, I don't know, when she's not famous anymore because of Friends or whatever and is finished, he dumps her. Then he does Thelma and Louise.
Okay.
This film's come out much later than the others now. And then, as he becomes a child, then he plays the child in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Okay.
And then, right at the end of it, I don't know, I guess he becomes a sperm. I don't know how the disease works, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Anyway, but this is what happens with Brad Pitt. Basically, his film career is in reverse, and a lot of his roles are reversed, and he gets some new roles.
I enjoyed the journey. What I will say is you completely fucked with time throughout all of this.
Yeah, things have been moved around a little bit, yeah. That I haven't fucked with time in the multiverse.
No, in the multiverse you haven't.
Because that's why it happened.
But in our reality, you've fucked with so much to make this work. It was like you've got to say we're celebrity, not break the flow of time to justify how it would work.
Also, when he was really old, he was taken on social media as well, because that's what he did. And then as he became a kid and social media died out and just became talking IRL, then he stopped doing it and he just started shouting at people like, hey guys, be cool with disability. He was a little kid at that point, so everyone was like, aw. Oh, and at some point as well, he beat up Bruce Lee.
Did that actually happen?
Have you not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
He won a fucking Oscar for it, mate. Anyway, he still gets his Oscar, whatever.
Unlike you, I'm not going to nitpick the shit out of that.
I felt like you tried.
It was just a time thing that was confusing.
Were you happy with the fact that he had a genuine disability, though?
I was happy that he had a disability that isn't real and that you...
It was real! It's a real thing!
And that you justified it.
I imagine Benjamin Button disease, I'm pretty sure, is a real thing. Otherwise, why would they have made a film about it?
Because of Hollywood.
No, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And they're two different films.
Okay. Shall we move on then?
Yeah, what's your second one?
So I was trying to think of a female actor, but I can't off the top of my head.
They don't have to be actors.
Okay, I wanted to have a female actor, but I was criticised for making it so that there wasn't really any impact on them based on their disability. I don't want to do something horrible to someone.
Why would that make a difference if it's a woman?
Because I just want to be horrible to someone.
Right, okay.
William Shatner, break his legs.
Right, so you just crippled him straight away.
Yeah, paraplegic. So, it would change his role in Star Trek, firstly.
Wheel me up, Scotty.
Yep, he wouldn't have that cool chair because he'd have one with wheels. And, someone had to put the parking brake on. Otherwise, he'd just roll off. Also, that iconic fight when he's, walking around that circle with, some Klingon dude.
Don't act like you don't know.
They fight in an arena or something. I mean, can you imagine that with him in a wheelchair? Just slowly rotating.
It might be really good.
He might die immediately.
Because he's in a wheelchair doesn't mean he can't fight.
I'm not saying he can't fight. I'm just saying his lack of mobility will be a hindrance in that situation.
What makes you think in that year, like Star Trek, I don't know, 2040, 95 or whatever it fucking is, that he hasn't got some sort of technology that will make his chair like one of those Xavier chairs? Like flying around and shit.
I mean, he might, but at the same time, I don't want him to have that.
What I like is the fact that they've got all this crazy spaceships and shit, but they can't figure out a fucking good wheelchair.
Yeah. An HS wheelchair. Yeah, so William Shatner. his entire career would be dramatically impacted.
But you're assuming that it's his acting career that's going to be. What about his illustrious singing career?
You know what? His singing career, he can still have that.
Why? Why would you? Why? Why? Please take it away. Please.
Because they can just bring the microphone down to him. I mean, we're sitting down now, so that's no semblance on his disability.
Oh, couldn't you have crippled his voice box instead?
No. It's only one thing. So yeah, that's basically what I would do. I don't think he'd be a good advocate for disabled people because, from all accounts, the man is an absolute putz.
Well, you'd probably get all those Star Trek nerds involved as well, though. Like, if he was disabled, maybe more like the nerdlingers would be getting involved with disabled stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe he would be an advocate.
Yeah, but I don't see him doing that. I just don't see him being an advocate. I see him as being one of these miserable, complaining disabled people.
Yeah, but he might be an advocate simply because he's in the Star Trek movies.
I mean, he does seem like the sort of guy who would be definitely like, if you crippled him now, then he would be the person like shouting from the rooftops about it. You know, the sort of celebrities who don't ever tout something until it affects them directly or a member of their family. Okay, hit me with your last one.
I'm going to pick Serena Williams.
How are you going to make her disabled?
Her disability is going to be that she's got multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
Brittle bones.
Okay, fair enough.
Tennis, not the career for her, unfortunately. She tried it whilst young, but unlike this reality, Venus always won. Mainly because every time she hit the ball, she broke an arm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got that.
Great. So, instead of doing that, she looks on the sidelines, watching her sister win millions upon millions of titles, thinking, that could have been me. But instead of actually winning the titles, she's ball boying, basically. She's one of those little guys sat on the chair, like the umpire guy. And unfortunately, because of her multiple sclerosis, she needs help getting up the ladder, like a little... I've picked a disability I know nothing about.
I mean, MS isn't necessarily brittle bones either. But...
In this case, it is for me.
Okay.
All right, because I've specified that, so shut up.
Okay.
Anyway, she's umpiring, but she's umpiring her sister's matches for some reason. They've allowed that, but then she's making really diabolical calls towards her sister.
Yeah,
in a good way. Like, she's favouring her sister.
Okay, that's why she wouldn't be the umpire, but for some reason she is. Yes.
Yeah. Multiverse. And then, and because of that, lynch mob at Wimbledon breaks out, and they all start throwing strawberries at her.
What about Pims?
Yeah, there's Pims as well. Yeah, like sometimes it's just full glasses of fruit.
I hate Pims. It's boring.
What?
It's a mixed flavour of nothing.
I like Pims. Don't be knocking Pims, all right?
Do you eat the fruit afterwards?
No, I don't. I'm not a fucking...
It's such a waste of fruit.
The fruit's there to make it look good and to add a bit of juice.
Why don't you just eat the fruit afterwards? Because it's alcohol infused and healthy for you.
Yeah, but I always feel like I'd look like a bit of a tramp. Like a commoner.
We sit there with a little chopstick and you just skewer the strawberries and just eat those.
No. The only time I really drink Pims if I'm like at the races or something.
You can still do it at the races. It doesn't have to specifically be Wimbledon you've eaten the fruit.
Yeah, no, but I don't want to look like a commoner. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm bowing to peer pressure, trying to look fancier than I am.
Okay.
Anyway, all this moist fruit is splattering on old Serena, unfortunately, and it's just blasted her bones to absolute dust. So at this point, she's sat in a chair. She can barely move, covered in fruit, and Venus has just won her 10th Grand Slam, thanks to Serena's cause. They flop her body down from the chair, and Venus takes her up onto the podium, which I assume they have. For some reason, they have a podium now at Wimbledon.
What, for that first place?
Yeah, the first, second, and third place.
It's more platform than anything. Yeah, okay.
And she holds Serena up and was just like, we did this together. I could not have done this here without my sister. Okay. And Serena's like, just take me to a hospital. Please. Every part of me is broken. And then they ship her off to hospital. And then after a long year's worth of recovery, she's back. And she says, you know what, Venus? You only won that because of me. Let's have a game right now to settle this once and for all.
Okay.
So in their back garden, they have a game of tennis. Serena throws the ball up to serve, hits it across the net, instantly breaks her arm, and then Venus wins the set. And match, and game. And they both remain the bestest of sister friends.
Okay, I don't think the last bit there added anything to your story.
Well, because it all came down to that one final game.
Yeah.
But reality took over rather than Hollywood.
Okay, so how does this benefit the disabled community?
I guess it doesn't.
Because this was the whole point.
It doesn't. No, we never said it had to benefit the disabled community. You said how would it affect a celebrity?
For all of this shit you gave me about my rock idea, the whole point was leading on
you
from
make him
last
very
week.
disabled. It's like if I said, "Oh, Serena Williams," but unfortunately she has to wear contact lenses whilst playing tennis. That's basically what. That's not what you fucking said.
But at the start, we prefaced it by saying, leading on from last week, what would we do to disable certain celebrities to raise the scope of disability? I led off with one that you blatantly shat on, and I didn't appreciate it personally.
But
it was the only
disabled.
It's the only fucking legitimate case we had.
No, it wasn't because
Even the Shatner one wasn't legitimate.
Hey, I told
man.
you that Brad Pitt. Yeah, you just went out on Shatner.
Yeah,
I told you Brad Pitt was very prolific at the beginning of his old age man career,
right?
On social media, advocating what's in the box, hope for disabled people. That's what you didn't get, okay? Because obviously you couldn't read between the lines of what I was saying, okay?
No.
In the box, it wasn't his wife's head because that was the other actor. It was hope. Okay. Springs eternal. And anyway, Serena, while she sat up in that box, and what I also didn't tell you as well, always on her phone. That's why she was making all these bogus calls towards Venus, because she was like, was that out? Oh, yeah, probably. No, point to Venus.
That has nothing to do with her disability. That's just being a shit umpire.
Yeah. But the reason she's on the phone...
So not only have you taken...
The reason she's on the phone is she's advocating disabled rights on Twitter. And that's another reason for the fruit throwing. They're like, you should be watching the game. In fact, she wasn't great for disabled rights because she did it at the wrong time. She tried but failed, basically. In tennis and in rights.
And this is in the multiverse.
Yeah, obviously. Obviously.
Well, the creativity was there. I don't know if we actually did what we wanted to do, but... I mean, I had a good fucking time.
I picked some people that I think genuinely be good for disability rights because, high profile and they're sexy. So all you need in it, really. Be good at your job and look great while doing it.
Debatably, The Rock is bigger than both of them, so.
You think The Rock is bigger than Brad Pitt or Serena Williams? Are you fucking mental?
Combined, yeah.
No. What?
Absolutely. Gen Zers would know The Rock over Brad Pitt and Serena.
What? Everyone knows those people.
Nah. The Rock's more famous.
You're full of shit, mate. Gen Z would not even know that The Rock was a wrestler.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
All right, I didn't need you to fucking pull out his phrase book.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what they know about him. All they know is that he's the spokesman of Under Armour and is in a lot of films.
I didn't even know he's the spokesman for Under Armour.
Yeah, he is. Like the poster boy.
Fair play. I kind of want to buy some Under Armour now.
Why do you think I do?
Because I want to be The Rock. He's an advocate for disabled rights. Buy Under Armour. Prove you're disabled.
Yeah, damn right. Well, Cleaves.
I'm not sure we achieved anything here today.
I don't think we did. If you have any thoughts on what celebrity you would purposefully disable to help disability rights
not necessarily for that reason
way.
It might just be that you don't like them.
Granted, that was one that I did. Let us know on Reddit. Again, this is for fun. I don't think we went that in on people that they'd get upset about it.
Also, who do you think's more popular? The Rock, Serena Williams, or Brad Pitt? Check it out on the Spotify poll.
I will figure out how to do that, and
You've done well better.
I'll figure out how to do that, and I will do it. But until next week,
stay crippled.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Seesaw Podcast.
You can find us on Twitter at Seesaw Pod, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram and YouTube at Seesaw Podcast. You can also email us at seesawpodcast@gmail.com. Like, rate, review, subscribe, and then you can also find us on TikTok, but get us on all the other places. This podcast was recorded in front of a blind audience.